Welcome back. We now delve into a particular deal with SunPower, which was structured by and booked with securitization. Securitization's business line, the task is to use the capital markets to monetize assets of our clients. Generally is non-recourse financing, but with that relatively large mandate, we have as a responsibility to structure deals with different maturity spectrums, anywhere from short-term 20-day assets, trade receivables, to more medium-term autos, paper, for longer-term 20-year power purchasing agreements, etc. Those are the types of assets that we have experts in our group that structure and monetize for our clients. SunPower installs solar panels and related interconnection systems that are leased to homeowners under 20-year lease agreements. To provide the funding for these installations, KSIB acted as a sole arranger and provided $170 million warehouse facility to finance a portfolio of solar leases to be originated over 2 years. So now we talk about this transaction, and we have distinguished panelists that I'll ask to stand up behind the tables. As I call out your name, please raise your hand. You all know Gila since he spoke a lot at the last panel. Emeka Ngube is a managing director in the securitization team. He leads the team's effort in project bonds. Emeka's work in collaboration with EIG and the other coverage teams in the bank has positioned KSIB to be 7th in the league tables and in the bond league tables. In the project bond league tables. Emeka is a Wharton grad, has been in the securitization team for about 8 years. Emeka, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
8 years.
Yeah, you have it. Bruce Dean is the managing director in securitization since 2000, currently heading up the conduit management team in support of asset-backed commercial paper. We'll get into what that is, but he leads that effort for the 3 of the 4 conduits that Credit Agricole sponsors worldwide. Bruce is also responsible for investor relations, investor roadshows, and really to enhance the U.S. dollar liquidity of these conduits. He's also dealing with the dealers on the placement process, and actually in the audience here we have Maya Morozovsky, who also assists with that, so just a shout out to Maya. Finally, Bruce is responsible for implementing securitization regulatory compliance solutions. Bruce's background in securitization goes back to 1995 when he worked at GMAC Ally Bank and covered their ABCP program management and ABS securitization. And we have Marco Besmuzic, who heads up the structured group in RPC. That's the credit team that Martine is part of. RPC is loosely divided into 4 groups. Marco heads up the structured team. That's project finance, securitization, and real estate. Marco is responsible for evaluating all of those risks, and we often have interesting conversations about the various files we present to Marco, but always very entertaining. Fernando Ballester-Gil is a Deputy Director of Client Onboarding for the Americas. Fernando started KSIB in 2006 as a compliance officer, then moved over to CIN Latin America, which is our coverage teams, and then from there moved to client onboarding in 2009 when the team was created in the Americas. Client onboarding supports the front office by ensuring that new numerical identifiers, known as radicals, are opened properly, and that periodic renewals are performed in the global Know Your Customer system, which is called KIWIS. Client onboarding ensures that Know Your Customer due diligence is properly completed and that all appropriate documentation is on file for each counterparty with which the bank transacts. And then finally, we have Nick Leopardi. Nick is the head of U.S. Debt Syndicate, which is comprised of a 4-member team based in New York covering bond distribution, including investment, grade, high yield, asset-backed, and private placement markets. Nick has been at KSIB since the summer of 2009 in his current capacity. Prior to joining KSIB, Nick worked at Merrill Lynch in New York City for 9 years in various investment banking, capital markets, and syndicate roles. Both Nick and I are Cornell grads, he undergrad. He earned a BS in applied economics, and he holds an MBA from UNC Keenan Flagler Business School. So with that as an intro, I start off again with Guylain, who is the nexus of the relationship. Guylain, it all starts with you. What were the client's needs for this particular transaction? How was it communicated to you, and what did you do about it once you got that information?
So I think for this second panel, we will go from something that was much more diverse, where you got a sense of the whole relationship, to something that goes into a more detailed transaction, one specific team. So each time we have those type of opportunities that are identified, then we gather the appropriate client team and work together to get through the finish line. So this specific transaction has been, it's a whole story, and I think it's important to come back to the strategy of, the evolution of the strategy of SunPower. So maybe you have the slide, or this one, which shows, in order to identify a good business opportunity, you have to well understand the client evolution, its strategy, and where it goes. So what happened with SunPower is that it really moved from project development of utility scale large solar farms into what we call CNI and residential solar. That's what we explained a little bit before. But it's a whole movement of the industry where a lot of people that are playing in the utility scale, so doing large solar farms, are now evolving into distributed energy, so rooftop solar for residential, or for corporate like Google, the military, Walmart, that want to bring a panel on their roof and be green themselves. So the whole ecosystem of SunPower is evolving, and you see new players coming into the industry. People as surprising as Comcast acquired a stake into Sunrun. Of course, Panasonic or LG with their battery come into this sector. So as long as you understand that this is a strategic move that SunPower is taking, of course SunPower is very well positioned to take this move because their panels are the more efficient one in the market. So they, if you live in a reduced space, like a roof, then you need a panel that is much more efficient, and that's where SunPower has a strong capacity. So we were financing with Ivan, you saw the large utility scale solar farm, but alongside we saw this movement coming, so with Emeka and the team, we were speaking a lot around the CNI and the Resi portfolio. How do you finance it? So for the CNI, so when they have a deal with Walmart or with Apple, they use sell and leaseback transaction. We don't play in this category, so we were kind of putting that aside and focusing on the residential business. And they were contemplating a various source of options to finance those resi portfolios. So that's how we started the dialogue. There's a lot of players, there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of alternatives for them to finance those portfolios. But just so that you understand, it's a portfolio of resi rooftop solar. So it's each time they put a panel on the roof of someone, they do a lease with this person, and this lease creates portfolio. Those portfolios of lease, they have 4 of them that represent 400 megawatts. So that's the equivalent of they put 1,700 house, 1,000 house. So the dialogue was, how do you finance it? And then we discussed with Emeka and the team to try to find the best solution. To be honest, they started with the first option, which we were not part of, and then came this opportunity.
Great, thank you, Emeka. What are the tools that